The Gospel reading focuses on two people, Simeon and Anna, who are described as faithful servants of God who served for years in the temple of Jerusalem, at Jerusalem. We see their joy when the Christ child was presented to them. But as you read this passage, I just wonder if you think about all the years that preceded this event, that they'd waited for this specific day, this specific time, this specific moment. And during that waiting, did they ever wonder if God would be faithful to his word that he'd given them? Did they ever wonder if they'd been deceived by the teachers in the temple about the Messiah, the coming of the Messiah? In short, did they ever doubt? For doubt infects even the best of God's servants. Now, a word of caution as I continue. Don't assume I've jumped to the wrong conclusion here. I think any experience of great joy as expressed by Simeon and Anna must, if true to life, be preceded by long periods of doubt, anxiety and questions. After all, they were human and not excused from the pattern of doubt expressed throughout the Bible, as well as human experience. Because doubt and faith are two sides of the same coin. And I think it's fair to assume that anyone as joyous as Simeon and Anna over the vindication of their faith must, I believe, had a season or two of doubt. And yet at this moment, as read to us, Simeon and Anna are joyous. Their long-awaited dreams have come true. But you might say, and I might say, why don't I feel that way? Why don't we feel that way? And I've come to the conclusion that our beliefs are more attached to our moods than we care to admit. It's far more easy to get worked up into a fervour of excitement and belief in God when you've got 300 worshippers, a live band and everything, fireworks going off, etc., etc. You've got a charismatic preacher, a charismatic leader of the service, and you can get everybody going, singing, dancing, falling down and everything. How do I know this? Because I've done it. I've done it. Doubt is more than an emotion, it's an intellectual exercise. Doubt is influenced by our experiences and by the way we feel about life. And frankly, some people go to doubt because it's a good place to hide. As long as we can live in the house of doubt, we don't have to take responsibility for many of our actions or to make a positive contribution to this world. We must, however, admit there's a place, I believe, in the Christian life for honest doubt. Doubt is always the prelude to faith. Before Gideon was able to be used by God, he cried out, "If the Lord is with us, then why has all this happened to us?" Job, one of the favourite books, well, my favourite book in the whole of the Bible, Job in his struggle shouts out, "I cry to you, God, but you do not answer." And later, he cursed the day that he was born. And even Jesus on the cross shouted out, my God, why? No one really possesses his or her faith until you've really fought for it. All of us in our hearts at some point cry out, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." And every time I've held a rose, it seems I only felt the thorns. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so will you soon, I suppose. And this is why my eyes are closed. It's just as well for all I've seen. And so it goes, and so it goes, and you're the only one who knows. Jesus was a doubter. He doubted that violence was the way, so he said, forgive one another. He doubted that long prayers, rigid dietary laws, signs and wonders at services, charismatic leaders, preachers, whatever it is, filled or full church are essential to faith. He talked about having a simple faith. He doubted that the Samaritans were an inferior race. So he told a parable about the good Samaritan and the bad priest. The capacity to doubt, I believe, is the stepping stone to faith. Strong faith usually has to be fought for. Letters written by Mother Teresa, which spanned most of her life, reveal a woman who felt alone, in a state of spiritual pain from around 1949 onwards, roughly the time when she started taking care of the poor and dying in Calcutta. Although she publicly proclaimed that her heart belonged entirely to the heart of Jesus, Mother Teresa wrote to the Reverend Michael van der Piet, a spiritual confidant, in September 1979, 30 years later, that Jesus has a special, very special love for you. But as for me, Teresa said, the silence and the emptiness is so great that I look and do not see, listen and do not hear. The tongue moves in prayer, but it does not speak. And the letter was written just a few weeks before she received the Nobel Peace Prize for her charitable work. Mystics, such as a chap called John of the Cross, called these experiences of seemingly losing our faith dark night of the soul. This describes the experience where we used to feel God's presence with a certain warmth and solidity, but now we feel like God is non-existent and we are left in doubt. I have to take my dog Casper out early in the morning for a walk because he's not very sociable. So I was out this morning about 4 o'clock walking along the streets of Maltby, and I just happened to walk past a couple of care homes. And one of the care homes, it was right adjacent to the pavement, and they'd got net curtains, but you could see inside because the lights were on. And in 2 or 3 of the rooms, I could just see an elderly woman just sat in the chair with her head down. And I just felt like thinking, my God, my God, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me? So I would choose to be with you. That's if the choice were mine to make. But you can make decisions too, God. And you can have this heart to break, which you do. And so it goes, and so it goes. And you're the only one who knows. And some people say that the darkness can be confusing. Some people say it can be maturing. It can help us to move from being arrogant, judgmental, religious zealots to being humble, empathetic men and women living inside a cloud of unknowing, understanding more by not understanding than by understanding. Hopefully lost in a darkness we cannot manipulate or control, so as to finally be pushed into a genuine faith, hope and charity. But some people stay in that darkness, and that darkness can be difficult to get out. So, hey God, don't make it bad. Make a sad song even better. And so it goes, and so it goes. And you're the only one, God, who knows. So help us, God, to accept the reality of our broken, flawed, doubting lives. Help us to see it not as the end, but as the beginning. To still seek you, the one who is present in the busyness and mess and tangledness of our lives. Amen.
Amen.